I'm not going to be a victim of that stuff I went through and that life. And that's not me. I knew it wasn't me. That stuff from the past was just gone. And I was like, what did you do to my brain? So my mission is to help female leaders to change the game. I grew up in Melbourne in the southeastern suburbs. I definitely didn't see myself doing this. I thought I was going to be a ballerina. But what led me to it is the silver lining of a not so great situation. Growing up in a difficult environment at home, and I was bullied for years and years as well. All through primary school, all through high school. It was just tough. Yeah, it was a tough childhood. What's that saying? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I think that's what came out of what I enjoyed growing up. I had nowhere to be safe. Home was not safe, and I'd go to school and school was not safe. Eventually we left Dad, and so got out of that kind of toxic environment, and that's when the healing, I guess, could start. I knew that had messed with me pretty significantly, and I just always had this fire in my belly that I'm not going to let this beat me. I'm not going to be a victim of that. And that's not me. I knew it wasn't me. The person I'd become as a result of what I'd been through. I had all these behaviours that just didn't feel like me, but they would just come out, uncontrollably. I really got sucked into society's norms and society's expectations. And so what I thought I was going to do was go to school, go to university, get the degree, get a good job, get married and have kids. The white picket fence dream. And I've done the complete opposite. No kids, never married. I did get some degrees, but I did the degrees to tick the boxes of society. I never wanted to. I hated every moment of university. Never wanted to be there. I wanted to rebel against all of it. Even buying the house, I got the great Australian dream and I bought the house. And I remember the day I signed that paperwork thinking, everything in my gut was like, no, 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 no. And I kept ignoring it because, it was the great Australian dream, and my parents and my brother and everyone around me was saying, you've got to have property and this and that and the other. And I never wanted to. I wanted to just get a business loan. And so there were moments, along my life where I was getting all the signals, no, 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 this isn't, what you want in your life, but just ignoring them and going with what society and the lineage, the ancestral lineage, my parents, my family, the shoulding, all of the shoulding and the weight of responsibility. I went through a bit of the feather, the brick and the Mack truck experience where I had the little tap from the universe, certain things happening in my career, like the first redundancy, and then ignored it, went back into the workforce. I had a blip of I'm going to start my own business. And then I let the fear and the voices from society, from family, get in my ear again, and went back into the workforce. The brick, another redundancy. And by this point I'd climbed the ladder, to executive positions, and I was in boardroom meetings, usually the only woman or one or two women in the room with all men. The Mack truck was a third redundancy, and I was in the fetal position under the desk, not wanting to get out. It was done so horrendously, and I couldn't speak up for myself. At the moments where I would speak up for myself, it was so horrendously shut down, and it was unfortunately generally by the men in the room. It's sad, actually. We're so disconnected. I was on the floor of my Brighton home in Melbourne, with my Gucci handbags and sunglasses and, you know, all of those things. And I was just so unhappy. And I looked around my house going, I don't want any of this. I don't want any of it. Take it all. I don't want the house. I don't want the handbags. It's like, this is not me. This is not what I wanted. This is not the life I wanted. And that's when I left and started my business. So I started my consulting business back then. That was when I hired my first coach. Yeah, I knew that I couldn't do it on my own. I knew I needed a mentor. And it was just a journey of like finding out deeper levels of what I want and what I don't want in my life. Things got tough in the business at one point, and I kind of got slingshotted back again into letting society and people's voices take over. And I did let it beat me at that point, and I went back and got a job. And then I started that project with them and working in that business, and more lessons in not listening to my gut and my intuition. Because the signs were there very early on that it wasn't right for me, but I kept doing it. And then I had the Mack truck again. I literally had a car accident. I'll never forget that moment, because the car hit me and I sat in the car and I was like, what just happened? And I burst into tears. Not because I had just been hit by a car, because I knew that I wasn't listening to the signs and that I was out of alignment. And I was like, oh, okay, I hear you now. Sorry. I promise I will follow my dream now. I'll follow, my alignment. Because partway through that, I had started studying NLP and hypnosis, and I was so passionate about it, and I just picked it up so quickly, and I just loved it so much. Whatever the powers that be gave that experience to me in the best way possible, because the silver lining was that I wasn't able to work anymore, and that gave me that time and space to think, what do I really want to do with my life? Well, the only thing I could do was sit in the NLP training rooms. I could sit at the back of the room. I could lie down with cushions and yoga mats and rollers and balls and everything, and manage my body and my pain and still be learning. That's when I started to get conscious competence about leadership and about communication, and how it actually is within your power, and that you don't need to be a born leader, that you can learn these skills. And that even an introvert or a shy person can be a leader. When I was in the training room and we did a process to clear some of the traumatic events from my past, and I was like, yes, I've got some trauma I need to clear, please. So I put my hand out. I was scared. I was very scared, but at the same time, that fire, it's like, I'm not going to let this beat me. You're in front of everyone, so, they're watching the demo. But, I trusted my trainer. She took me down into the process, and it only went for like 10 minutes. And then I opened my eyes and I looked at her and I just burst into tears because it was gone. That stuff from the past was just gone. And I was like, what did you do to my brain? It was like tears of joy, tears of relief, like tears of like, I've held on to this for so long, and now you just took it away. How do we not know about this in society? Why are we not doing this for everyone? So that was the moment when I knew that, that's when my path changed, that moment. And I was like, I have to do this. It's like, and it'd be an injustice if I didn't bring this to the world and I didn't make this part of my life. So I just started training in as much as I could. More NLP, prac, master prac, but not just one trainer, different trainers, because NLP is not just one trainer, and there's 3 different lineages as well, and hypnotherapy, and then I went into like more of the woo-woo energetic stuff, and that's when things really started to move in my body, and then somatic work, and it just got bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, yes, actually that's big part of what I teach and what I want to bring in is we want to change the metaphor and change the game. It's not dog eats dog. It's not a fight anymore. It's a rebalance. It's a recalibration. And how can we bring our power and strength as a feminine and couple it with the beautiful power and strength of our men and come together and go, okay, these are your strengths as a feminine and these are your strengths as a masculine. How do we bring that into the organisation? And like, you can elevate an organisation and a community and everything around you so much more if you bring the best, rather than so many women right now are trying to lead like a man. And the sad part of that is that we're getting very sick. It's not working. The latest statistics that 80% of people diagnosed with autoimmune disorders are females. And more than 30% of women in the workforce, over 30, are getting burnout. Are we not seeing the signs here? Like, something is broken. Something is very broken. The workforce is built around a man's, masculine hormonal cycle. And so us as women are trying to fit into that, and we're not made for that. I'm actually surprised over and over again how many people, when I share this, they don't know this, but the man-masculine hormonal cycle is built on the sunrise and sunset. So their hormones change as the sun rises and as the sun sets. So they are built on a 24-hour clock. But us women, we're built on a 28-day clock. It's very, very different. We work so differently. So we're trying to fit into this workforce that's not made for us. This is why I'm so passionate about working with female leaders now as well, because you're the ones that can change the game. You're the ones that can come in and rebalance this imbalance. Enough's enough. I mean, it starts with us. It starts with ourselves. We have to claim our power back. We have to learn boundaries. We have to say no. We have to say no more. Then it's an education piece. There's a big component that's education. But if we start with just holding our own self-sovereignty and our own power and strength and know how to do that, then it will create huge waves. What's the difference between a woman walking into a meeting or a boardroom and using that like directive, dominating, kind of approach, trying to lead like a man, versus walking in and just be like, hey, let's all take a breath. Set up the game to work for you, not the other way around. Don't accept the game as it is. Let's change the game. When you go for that job interview or that next position, you set it up how you want it. My dream is the water cooler conversation where a woman can walk in and go, oh, I just started bleeding today, so I'm going home. And that's normalised and that's okay in our society. It's very sad and shocking that it's not. I think that's the biggest problem, is that they're afraid to claim their power and their truth and step into that and say no, because they think that, they're going to get sacked. They won't be able to keep a CEO position, or they will be seen as weak. It's the opposite when you know how to do it the right way. Well, the exact opposite will happen. So it's coming back to our body and our truth and what's in alignment for me. So always checking here first. Here, head, heart, gut integration, leading from that place. We lead from our body, not from what society thinks we should do or must do or have to do. No more shoulding or musting. It's really sad to see the corporate world and how much pressure they are putting on us as human beings. It's a very controversial statement that I don't think equality is what we need. I don't think equality is the way forward. I think that we need to understand and educate on the strengths of men and the strengths of women, and create a system where we are playing to the strengths of the individual and their hormonal cycle. I have a huge mission for systemic change. Then the other layer is all the ancestral stuff, so ending the toxic patterns and the ancestral stuff that's been passed down the line. So yeah, where I see it going for myself is deep systemic change, ending the ancestral and societal indoctrinations. And I can't do it alone. I need you women to help. I need every human to help. But it's our leaders, our women leaders, that are going to help, pave the way for this. I think when I see the most profound shifts and changes and transformations in women is when they're open to the magic, when they're ready. When they won't settle for the norm. They have this sense that there's a better way, and they just can't put their finger on it yet, and they're looking for that. I know this is not right. I have a sense that this is not right, and I know there's a better way, but it's that whole when you don't know what you don't know. So that's your intuition talking, girl. So listen to that and follow that. Yeah.